Hey there folks, today I'd like to take a casual peek into the Ultra Act Ultraman Mebius action figure set from Bandai. First available in 2010, this set originally sold for about 3,500 yen. I got this secondhand set in 2013 when I purchased it from Mandarake, which is a Japanese secondhand pop culture web store, and paid only 2,000 yen for this set. Which translated to about $22 to $25 at the time I got it. Taking a look at the figure here, you can see Ultraman Mebius from his own show of the same name, and it's a very nice looking figure. And the figure is in the older Ultra Act design for the packaging, which is basically a black colored box with a nice abstract profile of the character, and I really do like this abstract design. It's actually kind of neat. And here we have the Ultra Act logo at the bottom with the name of the figure, Ultraman Mebius. Along the side you have a nice picture of the figure. It's kind of nice if you have other Ultra Act sets and you line them up side by side with the photo there. It's actually kind of cool. And here we have the back of the package with a few photos of Ultraman Mebius with certain poses with his Mebium blade, and in the background you could see one of the kaiju that he had fought on his show, Zamsha. Pretty cool. And we have some insert shots of Mebius in a stance there, as well as some of the effects that are included, such as the punch effect and the beam effect. Pretty cool. And just above the insert photos, you can actually see some statistics for Mebius. He's about 49 meters tall and weighs about 35,000 tons, so that's kind of cool. And here we have some print in Japanese that I can't read there. Now we'll be right back and have Ultraman Mebius out of the packaging. Okay, we have Ultraman Mebius here, and I have to admit that my knowledge of the character is rather limited. It only goes back to the Ultraman Zero movie called Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy, and I was a big fan of the character in that movie, especially of the human side of Mebius. But I am watching the Ultraman Mebius television series at the moment. It's currently being hosted on YouTube via some fine folks that have been able to upload the majority of the episodes. So I'm learning as I'm watching. But I really like the character, and it has a sort of a unique design, not too different from other Ultra brothers. But there are some character differences sculpt-wise that I enjoy of the character. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the items that are included with the Ultraman Mebius figure first. And we'll take a look at this, which is pretty standard by Bandai. They always include these with their figure sets. It's I guess a parts list and how to use all of the extra parts and information as well, I'm guessing, because it's mostly in Japanese that I can't read. But you can take a look at it here. And let me just turn it down a little bit so you can read that there. And you can also see a visual aid on how to replace certain parts and use certain accessories there. Very cool on there. Pretty neat. Nothing on that side. And next thing we'll take a look at are the extra pairs of hands. There are a total of 6 hands included in the set. 2 of them are closed fists that are on the figure when it was packaged. And you also get a pair of flat palms, which is almost standard for Ultraman figures or in characters. They use it mainly for the beam shots or flight or other poses, but it seems to be a pretty standard thing for Ultra brothers on there. So, but pair of flat palms there. And the other set of hands you have are just a pair of what look to be relaxed hands. There. Not too much detail on the hands, as they are encased in the body type suit, so they're rather smooth. So there's no sculpting details on the back of that or on the front of the hands there. So they're just rather smooth. We got that. Next thing we'll take a look at is the color timer. And there are two color timers, one in blue that's on the figure, and then you have this extra one here that's in red when his power supply is running low and he needs a recharge. And this often happens in battle, especially on Earth, where the Earth's atmosphere restricts the amount of light hitting into the Earth, so it restricts most of the Ultraman's power reserves, I guess you can call them. But it's removable, and I'll show you how to replace them a little bit later. But this, actually I have it upside down here. This color timer in red, it's actually kind of neat, or at least the color timer in general. A lot of the Ultramen have a rounded color timer, but Ultraman Mebius has a diamond-shaped color timer, which is kind of cool. Next thing we'll take a look at is the Mebium beam, which is pretty cool. It's basically a hand replacement. You can see the hand here in translucent yellow, and then you have the beam shooting forth from the hand. And it's actually kind of neat. It's made of a very rigid piece of plastic that has a little bit, not too many, but there are some holes just to add to the effect. That is an energy effect. You can see it on the reflection of light. That the sculpting detail that's gone into the beam. Very, very cool. And I wish it was a little bit longer, but it's decent. It's about 2 to 2.5 inches in length for the beam effect on this particular one. And it's got the sculpting detail on both sides of the beam, which is rather nice. Next thing we have here is a punch effect. I'm not too sure, I haven't seen it on the show yet where he uses this punch effect. I don't know if it's called a Mebium punch or not, or Mebium strike, or I'll have to look it up. But you can see that this is also a hand replacement. And you can see the fist here, a closed fist, followed by a nice a trail of energy in the form of soft translucent plastic on there. You can actually bend the tips there, are actually the majority of the effect. It's very bendable. And so you have to be careful you don't bend it and warp it too much. You can see it's rather curved in places. I don't know if that was intended or not, or if that was because of the packaging, but it actually looks kind of nice with the curved shape on there. So that's kind of cool, and it has a nice yellow transparent color to it, so kind of cool while the fist is in red. So very, very neat. And the last accessory that was included with the figure is this. This is the Mebium blade that forms out of the Mebium brace, which is a device he received before going to Earth. I don't know if Father of Ultra gave this to him or not, but in the very first episode he's speaking with Father of Ultra before he departs to Earth. And he has this as a multi-tool right here, the Mebium brace. And yeah, that is a round orb and acts almost like a trackball when you see it on the show, when he basically rolls it across to produce an effect like the Mebium blade here. And looking at the Mebium blade, it's a nice transparent piece of yellow plastic, a bit rigid. You can bend it, but you don't want to bend it too much, otherwise it'll snap. You can see mine's just bent a little bit, but overall it's rather straight, and it's very cool. Now there is a piece of gummy adhesive on this underside here. I don't know if that was placed there by the previous owner or not, or if this is included in the set, but it's a little bit sticky. And the underside of this Mebium brace is shaped. There's a peg, unique peg shape, so you can only insert it into the forearm in one direction. But this gummy piece of adhesive does allow you to keep the brace intact, because without it I think it'll fall off rather easily. So I don't know if that was placed by the previous owner or not, but it's kind of cool that it's there. So, but this is the Mebium blade here and the Mebium brace. Okay, now on to the Mebius figure, and I am, like I said, a fan of the character, especially in the Mega Monster Battle movie, the Ultra Galaxy movie, and I really liked Mebius, and so much that I had to get the figure without really getting into the show first, and I'm rather glad I did, because I was able to find a second-hand set for a rather inexpensive price. I think he averages about 3,000 to 4,000 yen nowadays, off at least what I've seen on Mandarake. But I was able to pick this one up for about 2,000 yen. And I can see why it was a little bit cheaper. There are some flaws with the figure. I don't know if it's just this particular figure or not, but there are a few issues I do have, but not too much where I'm unhappy with the figure. I'm very happy with the figure. It does represent Mebius rather well. And Mebius has got the standard, I guess, Ultra Brothers color scheme of red and silver. You can see, but his sculpt is slightly different in styling than other Ultra Brothers that I've noticed. It looks more, I wouldn't say militaristic, but it does look like he wears a military type uniform or bodysuit compared to other Ultra Brothers. In that the sculpt or design of this suit is rather squared off at the shoulders, and what looks like military lapels and chevrons throughout the suit in gold. You can see a chevron here in the leg and on the side of his torso there. So it looks slightly militaristic in his, I guess, design of his bodysuit compared to other Ultra Brothers. But I really didn't notice on the show. I've only seen about the first 10 or 11 episodes where he acts very militaristically. He's rather seems to be a newer Ultra when he goes to Earth to protect the Earth, and or at least the human side of him. He looks like he is learning his ways while on Earth. But very nice character, and compared to Mebius from the Ultra Galaxy movie, where he's a little older and wiser. And so it's very, very cool. But looking at Mebius here as a figure, again, it represents Mebius on the show rather well. Starting out here with the head sculpt, he has a rather unique head sculpt compared to other Ultra Brothers. Most Ultra Brothers have that typical fin that goes in the middle of the head and towards the back, and Mebius has that as well, but he has some minor fins going along the side here, and he has a very nice design on the head sculpt. You can see the line sculpting here on the forehead that goes that tends to flare out in the red towards the back. Very, very nice head design there. Of course, you have the typical eyes, or I like to call them fish-like eyes, because most of the Ultra Brothers to me have that what look like a fish-like design, and but this one here you could see has rather rounded eyes there, kind of neat, and they are transparent with some sculpting underneath, but not really clearly kind of transparent. It looks a bit frosted over, and speaking of frosted over, I think that's most of the silver paint seems to be a frosty like paint. Doesn't look entirely glossy on there, but it has that almost opaque type of quality to it. but it's still rather nice. And then you have the sculpt of the mouth area there, which is almost standard with most Ultra Brothers. But the silver paint on this figure overall, like I said, looks a bit frosted, not glossy, not metallic looking, but it's still a nice silver paint on here. Now, there are certain areas of the silver paint I do have issues with, especially right here on the torso. It doesn't look like they applied enough paint of silver here. You could see a bit of the red underneath the silver on there, and it's in certain areas of the figure as well, like here in the back, but it's not too bad, especially if you have the torso. You really can't see it turned down, but you can see it's a bit faded here, and which is unfortunate, but like I said, not that big a deal. But you can see the design of Mebius's bodysuit here, a very cool, a mix of red and silver. The silver is a little bit raised in the sculpt area where there are portions of silver, and other portions it's the red, like on the torso here. That's a little bit raised, but not over here. But just an intermix of raised areas and recessed areas on the sculpt. And you can see here on the shoulder pads it's a bit raised in the sculpt as well. And it's kind of cool how this shoulder piece is part of the lower arm. A lot of figures have the shoulder piece on the shoulder or on the torso area, but this particular one has it on the bicep arm. So really interesting, the design on that. And you can see the color timer here, the blue indicating not full, but majority of full power, just until it starts running to the low power. And then you get into the red color timer here, and you can just pull that off. You have to raise the upper torso a bit so you can get access to the underside of the color timer. You can just pull that out, and you can see it's a transparent blue plastic with silver paint and red paint applied on the front side. So that's kind of cool, and you can see the peg hole in the chest there, and it's real simple just to replace that with the alternate color timer there. So rather cool. I prefer the blue color timer. So he's ready for battle and has enough power to defeat his enemies. So pretty cool, and it looks like there's a paint nick on the chest there, which is unfortunate. Hopefully I can find similar color paint just to paint that over. Looking at here at the arm, you could see the Mebium brace. It's actually kind of cool, and you just pull that out and you can see the unique peg hole there, so you can only insert this in a single direction. And just looking at the details of the Mebium brace there, it's actually kind of cool. It got that red trackball orb in transparent red plastic, and then you have some really nice painted and sculpted detail, especially here in the gold areas. Very, very cool. And you also have this black painted area here. And this one also has the adhesive. I don't know if that was applied by the primary owner of this, or the first owner of this, or if that was intended by Bandai or not. But I'm glad that adhesive is there, because I can just picture this falling off quite easily without that adhesive on there. So, let me just go ahead and place the Mebium blade on here, and you can see he wields that with mostly swinging actions. I don't know if he used a thrusting action or not with the Mebium blade. He might, but I haven't gone that far in that to find out. But most of the time he swings the blade in action while combating an opponent on there. But very cool on this. So, and for the hands, the hand effects for the beam right here, and the punch effect. The punch effect, I believe, this goes with the left hand. Let me just go ahead and place this there, and let me go ahead and place this here. Whoops, I'm gonna have to do this off screen for a second. And there we go. We have the punch effect there, and that's kind of cool. So whenever he's doing a punch of some sort, you can have that really a nice effect, indicating a really powerful punch. And I don't know if this particular punch has a name or not. I have to find out if it's called a punch strike or Mebium strike or what. I have to look it up, but I don't know the name of that. And for this, the beam effect, let me just do this off screen again. And there we go. The beam effect is intended for Mebius's right hand, and it just acts like another hand. You just peg it into place. You can actually see the ball joint on there. So it would have been cool if the ball joint was transparent plastic, but that's okay. It's not too bad, especially at certain angles. And that's actually rather neat to have the one on each hand, an effect on each hand there. And let me just go ahead and replace the hands. Alright, just go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure here. We have this more line effect that's going on with the bodysuit. You can see the back there. Same as well. Again, you got that paint issue here. And on the legs, it continues throughout. You can see the detail of the chevron design over here on the lower leg. That's similar to the torso area here, which is pretty cool. Another issue I had with this particular figure, and it just may be limited to the figures, the legs on my particular figure look slightly bent outward, especially the lower legs there. And I thought it might have been the knee joints are being reversed on there, so I did attempt to actually remove these, and I did, and swap the positions of the knee joints, but it just made the legs a little bit unwieldy on the articulation, so I swapped them back. So I'm just gonna have to deal with these slightly bowed out lower legs. It's not that big a deal when posing the figure. A majority of the time when you have it posed, you really don't notice it unless it's straight outwards and downwards. You can see how the legs slightly bow out at the lower legs. So, but still, it's a nice figure. I don't know if that's common with the majority of Mebius figures. It may be just limited to mine. Now, going over articulation for Mebius here. The head is on a swivel joint that can look up and down, and it's kind of cool in that the fin here, when you bend the head upwards, goes into the neck. There's a recessed area on the back of the neck where it allows clearance for the fin to go in, so you can move the head upwards. So that's very cool. And the neck has a joint at the base of the neck, basically a ball socketed joint. So you can rotate the head left and right, but you can't do it all the way around because the neck does run into the collar area of the suit. So you can get a majority of the poses there, but if you turn it too much, it'll pop off the head. And you can see the ball joint there and the ball socket there. So. And just due to the sculpt of the neck area, and you can see the sculpt of the collar area of the torso, it's not completely round, thus restricting the left to right movements. But you can still get the majority of realistic head movements left and right. And also you can tilt the neck, so you can get a variety of poses for the head, which is pretty cool. The arms are on a hinged swivel joint at the shoulder, so you can rotate the arms all the way around, as well as bend the arm out and in. A little stiff on mine. And there's also a balled joint within the shoulder. Yeah, so you have various rotational poses on the shoulder that can go all the way around. And whoops. Which is cool, and you can get like forward and back movement of the arm, so a greater posability range there. So very, very cool. And there is a rotation at the upper bicep area, So you can turn that around. It is a bit restricted due to the shoulder pad here. You can't get it completely all the way around, but you can get in the majority of poses around. There are 2 hinges for the elbow, so you can bend the arm about that far in, as well as this far outward. And the hands are on a balled, hinge and swivel joint at the wrist. So you can get the hand all the way around, as well as in and out, depending on where the hinge is positioned at. So you can position the hand in and out, or you can do it side to side on there. So, and you have to position the hinge on the wrist if you want it posed certain ways for the hand there. So there is torso articulation for this figure here at the mid-torso area, or mid area of the upper torso, I should say. Allows you to bend the figure downwards, up and back, slightly side to side. And there is also a ball joint in the waist area, so you can allow greater movement of the upper torso. So you can bend it even further downwards and upwards and side to side, but not all the way around due to the shape of the waist area. And you can also get it side to side as well, so you have a greater range of movement for the upper torso overall. The legs at the hips are on the typical Bandai Ultra Act and Figuarts hip design, in that you can bend the legs forward and back and out to the side, and there's also an additional hinge to pull the leg downward, so you have greater range of the leg for upward movement, downward, back, and side movement. Although the side movement doesn't seem to make any difference with this additional hinge on this particular figure. It only goes out to the side about that much. And the leg can rotate around at the top of the thigh, but not completely all the way around due to the sculpt of the lower torso there. The knees are on 2 hinges, so you can bend the knees this far back and this far forward. And the feet are on attached to the ankles with a ball socketed joint, so you can bend the foot downwards, as well as upwards, as well as all the way around, and even ankle pivot side to side, so that's a nice range of movement there. And there is a toe hinge on the foot, so you can bend the toes upwards, and you cannot really bend it downwards. That's about as far down as you can bend the toes. Overall, a great figure, especially if you're a fan of the character of Mebius, which I am, and I'm currently watching his episodes, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit, actually. And I recommend it if you're a fan of Mebius. I don't know if he'll ever be re-released in the newer, body sculpt that Ultra Act has been releasing figures with, but if not, this is basically your only chance to have an Ultra Act Mebius. This is my casual peek into the Ultra Act Mebius action figure set. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.